You guys ever feel like the world and society as a whole just keeps making the same mistakes over and over again? I'll definitely tell you, you're not crazy. What's crazy is nobody's talking about why. But here at Comfort and Chaos, we're going to figure this out because it's not about politics and it's not generation and it's not even intelligence. But what it is a pattern. And what we do with that knowledge, it's really on us. And how we react, it's on us. But it is a pattern. Let's get into this. Every year is a new crisis, a new outrage, a new emergency of some sort. But when you pay attention, you realize that it's just different names, but the same result. And what frustrates me isn't really the chaos of it all, because to me, chaos is normal and needed. But what frustrates me is watching people just act surprised and react and throw all kinds of emotion and reaction to it. It's as if they haven't noticed that we've seen this movie before. They always say history repeats itself. But when it does, you got to ask yourself, does history truly repeat itself because we forgot it? Or does history repeat itself because we ignored it? So with me and who I am and what I do, let's put a leadership connection to this. Here's the uncomfortable truth that most people just don't want to hear. We're humans here, and this is just my opinion, and I'm going to base it off my experience and, of course, just my skill set as a leader. Most problems don't come from bad people. We like to point fingers. You see it now, pointing fingers. Bad person here, bad person here, bad person here. But no, most problems don't come from bad people. They come from weak leadership and a lack of discipline. I'm not trying to be some kind of leader, grifter, or anything, but no, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to break it down to a fundamental basis. Leadership and discipline are needed and will lead to impactful results in all our lives. Right now, there's a pandemic of weak leadership. When leaders stop enforcing standards, or those standards are selective and accountability starts to disappear, then that's when you start to see the chaos explode. But it's not going to explode overnight. It's called the trickle-down effect. It's going to leak in quietly. I've seen it from experience. I've seen what it does to a team, to a squad, to a platoon, to an organization. That trickle-down effect is real, and we're seeing it now. Because when that happens, structure starts to fade. And then those gaps of confusion, that's exactly what's filled with, is confusion. And we're seeing it now, and I know you guys are seeing it yourself. Just start scrolling. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So, with all my years of experience being a military leader, I've seen organizations, teams, and squads fall apart. Not because they had great talent, smart and able bodies capable of so much potential. So the talent was always there. But it was because nobody wanted to be the bad guy. Nobody wanted to say no, step up and enforce the standards, own their role, and just take ownership, own their failures, own their successes, own those bad choices that were made. Just own it. Ownership. But instead, they wanted to imply words like flexibility, pushing towards progress. So you got flexibility, you got progress, but those are just excuses. In my opinion, what was really going on was avoidance. That's the word that comes to mind. Avoidance. You're avoiding what is truly needed. You don't always focus on being the leader that they want. You got to focus on being the leader that they need. And that avoidance is what is currently handing the bill to the next generation. That's the pattern that I am seeing. So here's where common sense would normally step in and ask better questions. Slow down, identify the patterns, analyze, retract some of that emotion, and let's apply a little more logic. Just common sense application. But we don't see that anymore. In fact, like I've said in previous videos, common sense is literally decaying in our society. It's almost extinct at this point. But today, I would say we don't really reward patience anymore. We don't reward analytics. We don't reward logic. But what we do reward is outrage, reaction, feel this, react, engage. That is literally all we reward. That is what the algorithms reward. That is what society just jumps on and clings to, regardless of if there's any truth or fact. I mean, we're seeing it now. You're seeing kids going out and protesting when these kids they don't even know, they haven't even finished the algebra homework. They can't even tell you the processes of a linear equation. They're not even educated. They can't even drive. They can't even buy a beer. But yet they're out there being used because they have outrage. They got emotion. You know what? We can capitalize on that. It breaks my heart because there's just no common sense. There used to be a saying, the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room. As a leader who is very familiar with leadership expectations and characteristics, I'm not seeing it. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of weak individuals. That's just the reality. There's a lot of weak people out there, and just because they're louder, they feel like they got strength. They don't, because you see it when it's getting tested. You see when the logic comes to come in and that emotional cloud just escapes. You see it. And it crushes. We need to bring common sense back into this team. So comfort in chaos, I put a lot of thought when I came up with that term, because that's exactly what we're going through. I literally lived it. I've gone through bad decisions, bad choices, bad results, failures, but I learned from them. I identified a pattern. I applied logic. I didn't react emotionally. And I was able to work myself through that chaos because I applied myself to understand it before I engage and before I reacted. When now that's what we need. Because comfort in chaos doesn't mean you enjoy disorder. It means you are putting yourself out there to understand it first before you react or engage. It means you don't panic when things get loud all around us like they are today, because you've locked in your mind to look for patterns instead of headlines or those bumper sticker posts designed to trigger you and get you to react and engage, rather than focus on logic, truth, understanding, and then apply your reaction after that. But that's not what we reward. We don't reward that. And yes, those terms, discipline, structure, I get it. We hear them all the time. You see them posted in gymnasiums and in buildings and all kinds of stuff. But those words mean things. Those words have actions, and those actions have results. And when I'm telling you this, I'm not telling you this because the book tells me to tell you this. I'm telling you this because I've learned from experience. I have failed multiple times, but I applied a little bit more discipline. I applied a little bit more structure, and I have established a standard, and then I enforced that standard. And now I figured a way to understand that chaos so I can work through it and not be the loudest one in the room, which ends up being the weakest one in the room. So yes, that term discipline, I get it. That word sounds boring, but I'll tell you what, that word has an action and that word has a result. Structure, it's not sexy, but that word has an action and that action has a result. And I would challenge you guys. I would challenge you. For those of you who don't even have a New Year's resolution yet, and you're looking at the craziness all around you, I mean, I don't even care about that kind of stuff. I care about you as the human being, because I'm a human being. All that other shit doesn't matter. I'm just sorry to tell you, it doesn't matter. Leaders are going to come and they're going to go. Presidents are going to come and they're going to go. Politicians are going to come and they're going to go. But in the end, you can only focus on what you can, and that's what matters. I saw a quote the other day that your mother, your father, and your partner are going to cry the most if you were to die. Nobody else would. So if you think about it, the term is basically 3 individuals would cry the most if you were to pass away tomorrow. That should tell you that circle. That's what matters most. Why apply all this energy over here or all this effort over here, all this life over here when this is what matters most? That's the only thing that's going to keep today's chaos from owning you, because I'm not going to let it own me. So don't let it own you. If you are out there and you're like me and you are tired of being emotionally dragged and just ran through crisis after crisis, headline after headline, emergency after emergency, and you are just getting pounded left and right and you're feeling worn down, I would encourage you this. Stop chasing the noise. Filter it out and start identifying and studying the pattern, because it's there for us to see, learn, understand, and study it. So study the pattern. It's right in front of you. You just got to see it. Apply yourself to see it, because that is how you lead. And that is how you stay grounded. In my opinion, that's what's missing nowadays. We're seeing a lack of personal leadership. That's what we need. Personal leadership. Take control and control what you can. And don't fall for the traps. Don't fall for the noise. Don't react to the noise. Let's understand it. Because that is how you truly find comfort in your chaos. Drop a comment down below. If you see the pattern that I'm talking about and you identifying patterns as well, drop a comment down below. I want to hear about it. I want to engage you on this. I definitely want to learn. So drop a comment down below. And I'll tell you what, if this also resonated with you, or you know somebody who it can resonate with, or whatever, but I care about you guys, okay? I really do. If this resonated with you, please, you already know what to do. I'm not even going to insult your intelligence. And then additionally, guys, links will be in the description down below. Follow me on Instagram. If you'd like to support the channel any further, we got some cool merch at the Chaos Shop, guys. Some really cool stuff. Go ahead and get yourself something. Get a gift for somebody else. They're good conversation starters. Links in the description down below, guys. Stay grounded, and I'll see you on the next video.